Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. First things first, audio test. It sounds good. I think it's good. Audio test. Yes, we're good. We're good. We're nice. Welcome into twitch.tv/Ice Cream Applause. My name is Graham Day, and I don't need to talk like this, so I'll just talk normally. Nice? Yeah, nice. My name's Graham Day. This is the man that we call Bibby. And watch in amazement as Bibby changes his room from blue to Ice Cream Uploads purple.
Yeah.
Hey! Good morning, Bib.
Good morning.
I'll read how's things.
Yes, very good. Very good. What about you?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. What I am going to do, though, is turn off your video, exit the call, and then jump back in, because there is about a 5-second delay on your speechings. So... Bobby?
Hello.
There we go. Okay, Bibby is back. Bibby is back in the room. How are we all doing? Welcome into twitch.tv/Ice Cream Applause. My name is Graham Day, but hopefully you all know that by now. And if you don't, my name is Graham Day, and this is the man that we call Bibby. And if you can't guess from me saying Ice Cream Applause 2 or 3 times, it's saying Ice Cream Applause at the top of the screen, and me sat here with a hat on that says Ice Cream Applause. Bibby sat there with a hat on that says Ice Cream Applause, and me sat with a jersey that says Ice Cream Applause. We are, in fact, Ice Cream Uploads. I know, yeah. Strange. I know, believe it. In true ice creamy fashion, this is The Scoop, your daily dose of news from the world of video games and beyond. And some may say the UK's #1 video game podcast. We are those some, but it still counts. And we are going to give you our thoughts and impressions on the biggest and the best breaking stories from the world of video games and beyond. As well as our thoughts and impressions, this show wouldn't be anything without your thoughts and impressions on our thoughts and impressions. So if you're live with us in the chat, where we go live each and every single weekday on twitch.tv, that name again is /Ice Cream Uploads. We go live each and every single day at 10 a.m. ish. 10 a.m.-ish. It's now 10:59, so 11-ish, 10-ish. You get the point. We go live at 10 a.m.-ish each and every single weekday on Twitch with this live stream that we do then turn into a podcast, a video for YouTube and an audio podcast on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, and Google Play. So if you are in the chat, please feel free to use your voice on behalf of everyone watching and listening on demand, because they can drop comments down below on YouTube. I see you guys on YouTube. GG. Feel free to hit the like button. And they can pause, fast forward, rewind, but they don't get to speak to us right here, right now, live. So you guys please feel free to use your voices on behalf of everyone else watching and listening later. Don't worry if you can't, though. I can see Nico dropped the lurk, and my chatbot is dead, so it didn't work. But there is a lurk command there. Thank you, Nico. Nico. If you are in the chat and you can't talk, feel free to lurk, because every view does help, so we appreciate all you guys. Nice. Before we jump into some news, though, a little bit of a roundup. ! Loot drop. We will have a giveaway on the first Monday of every month. That's exclusive to subscribers. So if you want to back yourself a prize and you're already a subscriber, make sure you're in our Discord. ! Loot drop right about now should give you that chat command if you want any more details on that. ! Muscle Noose. If you fancy bagging yourself some snacks with a nice hefty 25% discount code. An ! Insert coin. If you just want to wear some sexual threads and get yourself a nice 20% discount. First offer only, though. First time use only for that one. So if you do want to buy yourself any insert coin clothing and save 1/5 on the whole total cost, make sure you do it all in one order, because it once and gone. So there you go. Nice. Now that's all out of the way. Good night last night, babe. Apparently, I heard a rumor that you and your teammate were in an exceptional form on PES yesterday. I mean, completely undefeated for back 5 games is what I'm hearing. Is that true, or is that true?
Yeah, the 10v10 games went really well last night. Started out new formations. I'm only joking. Yes, we went 5 times undefeated. Unbelievable as well. We played against some dossers, as Vern would put them, and we still managed to get through and win the game. So yeah, it's extremely happy about that.
Yeah, some good games. So first game, someone disconnected in the first few seconds. They could tell the pressure. They gave up. Second, third, and fourth-ish were okay-ish. The last game, which is going for 5 undefeated, we just got shithoused from the off. And this person was trying over-the-top kick-off glitch through balls from pretty much day dot. They got 2 decent finishers, but like the finishes that you'd expect from like 97 Messi outside the box on his left foot kind of thing. So decent enough, but shithouses. They didn't need to be shithouses. Anyway, the game allowed us to shithouse them. Yeah! So we won. It was good. It was good. It was a good stream. I may have been intense for a lot of it. It's fine. But there you go.
Whatever give anyone that impression?
I don't know. Nice.
Roll the stream back, lads.
Gary was like, woof, competitive Graham. Maybe. That's the thing, though. I mean, some games bring it out of me. PUBG can bring it out of me, but football games have always been the ones that really bring out my competitive side. So you either see me very verbal and screaming in yeah, like neighbours, people up and down the street can hear it, or you hear me just absolutely losing my shit, heart on your sleeve kind of stuff. But it's good. Anyway, if you're in the chat, please feel free to get involved. As I can see, Coolan was in nice and early this morning. Welcome in, dude. How are you doing today? Gagad's here as well. Good morning, gents.
It's been ages, man.
Is what?
Been here since 10.
Well, that's the commitment we kind of like, but aren't going to bring ourselves. You know. Gagad says, exclamation mark, Garlic Clark. My bad, Gagad. I'd restarted the PC this morning because I was tinkering with Lumia Stream stuff. I'm trying to make it. So we have just been partnered with Lumia Stream. We've not mentioned anything yet because we want to get everything set up at our end. But Lumia is the software that I use to make things like this happen with the lighting behind me. Whoop, 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 whoop. Anyway, we've just been partnered with them, so I was tinkering with some stuff, trying to make it so that the Disco function I have to redeem for you. I'm trying to make it so you guys can do that sort of stuff directly yourself in chat, and we will have discount codes for you guys should you ever want to get Lumia's premium editions and stuff yourself. You can download it for free. It's free to use. That's what I've been using until this week. Anyway, yeah, so I've been tinkering with that. So the chatbot hasn't been on, but if you wanted to, Garlic Clark, anytime now, that should work. I appreciate that you all will want to do it. Just spread it out across the stream. Garlic Clark, exclamation mark, Garlic Clark. I love you, Gary. Hey. Gagad says, well, that was a fail. Yeah, that's on me. That's on me. There we go. Hey. How did Bibby get the name Bibby? Says KKB. Well, it's fun fact. People think he's actually called Michael Meehan. But they don't know that at first. They have to wait about 12 months of knowing before they find that fact out, which is what I found out. He's not actually called Bibby. God, what? But
name.
The true story is he was originally called Robert or Robbie, and then people changed that to Bobby, and then autocorrect just changed it to Bibby once, which is ironic now because if you type Bibby, it auto changes it to Bobby every time as well. So that's that's the some parts of that are true, but maybe not the majority of it. How did Bibby get the name Bibby?
Because it's my family's maiden. Well, it's my mum's maiden name, so it's my family name.
There you go. I didn't know whether you wanted that information sharing. That's why I left it to you.
What they're going to do, find me mum. Believe me, she'll fucking get anyone in it before anything else, so don't worry about it.
Contrary to popular belief as well, I'm not sure if he's here this morning. I know he does watch and listen sometimes on demand, but there is actually another Bibby in the channel. We last year had a bib off as well. We did an event for, was it? Oh, no, it was the year before. Wow. We did an event for the launch of Sniper Ghost Warrior contracts. If Mr. T's in the chat, he will know. And at that event, we had Mr. Bibby, but then we also had another guy called John Bibby, and we had a Bibby off. So they had a competition for the role of the OG, the one true Bibby. And Bibby lost, so he's fake Bibby.
It wasn't by much, I'll have you know, but man, that guy is good with a gun.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. But then again, he did work for an airsoft firm so there's probably an unfair advantage there. We probably need to set a round 2 with a game of Pez or something like that. There we go. Nico saying, exclamation mark lurk, forgot the command after 24 hours. No, you got it right. I'd shit the bed with chatbot. So thank you, Nico. Hi guys, hope you both good. Very, very, very good. Thank you for being here. Gary says, hashtag cat watch. I did see the cat jumping off the window as I was doing the intro as well, so I saw that too. May have been.
Thankfully, she's in bed.
What, on the floor?
Yeah, which is good because if she's on the windowsill, oh, she's down here in front of the door, it means that she's going to start scratching the door, and that's obviously something that I need to go and sort out. So at the moment, she's in bed, which is great.
You need a cat flap on the streaming room. That's what you need.
Yeah, actually, that's a great shout.
Gagad says may have been ? And then Gary says my ears are still ringing from Graham's screaming yesterday. I may have been a little bit excited at a few games of PES. That's all I'm going to say. May have been. I don't know why. I can see in the chat that Callum has converted from a Prime Gamer sub to a Tier 1 sub, but that hasn't come through in the activity feed or the mini feed. Callum! Thank you for the conversion to a Tier 1.
Converted before his renewed day.
Maybe. I don't actually know about the conversion stuff, but appreciate the conversion. Thank you for being here and committing to the longer term sub. Much appreciated. So basically, if you get a Prime sub, if you've got Amazon Prime, you get a Prime Gaming sub. I'm assuming you know that. And you can use that to subscribe to a channel for free. You can then pay a subscription to subscribe to a channel proactively so that the subscription renews every month. That's a Tier 1 sub. You can pay a bit more for Tier 2, pay a bit more than that for Tier 3. And yeah, Callum's converted from a Prime to a Tier 1 whilst he's in subscription, so it hasn't come up with alerts. So stay frosty, yeah. There you go. Hey, it works. Nice. Yeah, there's your sub alert. Nice. But thank you very much, dude. Much appreciated. Good morning. Gary says, baby, with a 36-minute delay. Sometimes it happens. It's absolutely nothing to do with Discord, so don't let him use that as an excuse. That's just Bibby. If you've
never would.
Madge, good morning. Just in time as we have a few stories for you to talk through today. You may remember that, was it last week or was it earlier this week? We spoke about the GoldenEye 007 remaster that had resurfaced online in a 2-hour video. Well, it's not just a video that has been leaked online. It turns out that you can actually play the game. Whew. Interesting. Do you fancy some 1v1s on GoldenEye, Bib?
Yes, let's do it.
I'm going to bring this out across the screen and I'm going to kick Discord in the nuts because I asked that question about 2 hours ago. Hey, it's me, I'm back, yay! Let's bring the out across the screen. Article on screen. Bear with me one sec while I jump back into the call with Bib. Ah! Whoopie.
Hello.
Hey, there you go. We have a little less latency. That's nice. Anyway, Yin-Poole at Eurogamer says, cancel GoldenEye 007 Xbox Live Arcade Remaster leaks online. I've been expecting you. The cancelled GoldenEye 007 XBLA remaster has leaked online, and the remaster, which we reported on over the weekend after a full playthrough was posted on YouTube, is now available to download and play via an emulator. Digital Foundry's John Linneman has verified the game is playable. It runs at a smooth 60 FPS, and you're able to switch between the old and new graphics at any time. Watch him play it in the video below. Let's hit play, make sure it's muted. Nice. 2.5 hours of play. Let's skip forward a bit. There we go. In 2007, Microsoft-owned Rare developed a HD remaster of its Nintendo 64 classic to be released on the Xbox Live Arcade, but copyright disputes saw the project shuttered. Perhaps mindful of the nature of the game's demise, the below image is seen when you boot the game. Do you expect me to remove this Nintendo logo screen? No, Mr. Bond. I expect you to die. Will Microsoft ever task Rare with getting its GoldenEye remaster off the ground? It seems unlikely. GoldenEye rights are so challenging. We've looked at this many times. Xbox boss Phil Spencer tweeted in 2015. For those of you who may be new here, I struggle saying Xbox boss. I usually get Xbox boss. So yes, the reasoning for the game not coming out before is because, quote Phil Spencer, lots of different parties to work with, we've always given up. So if you can't release a game that you would like to see, that would promote the Xbox Live Arcade, the next best thing is to accidentally on purposely leak it. I'm not saying that Xbox have or Phil Spencer was involved in it whatsoever, but it has now been leaked. And if you did want to play this game, then it has been willed into existence either accidentally, on purposely, or somehow bizarrely by someone that had access to it. So it is out there, and you can download and play it. What are your thoughts on that, Bib?
Well, we could play this via Parsec if we wanted to do a little bit of 1v1. I could download this, we could get back into it. But yeah, I mean, it now feels like it's far too much of a coincidence. Since I think it was Monday we talked about this, and now by Wednesday, because I think this broke last night, you're able to play this. I think that's far too much of a coincidence, if I'm being honest. But it's something that we never would have seen the light of. This game would have never seen the light of day had it not have been leaked, because it's been there for 13, 14 years. So, yeah, I'm not a fan of leaks in general. But I don't know whether or not I feel differently about this, purely because of how long it's been around and not being able to get seen, and it never would have been released anyway. It's like, using another example, Resident Evil, believe it or not, Resident Evil 1 for the Game Boy Color was something that was 95% done, and then someone at Capcom said they didn't want it to get done anymore. For some reason, they never released it. So it was literally a 1-for-1. Obviously, with toned down graphics for the Game Boy Color, but it was pretty much the exact same game as what it was on the PlayStation. But someone actually leaked the source code for it, so the 95% completion build is available for everyone to be able to play. So they can play through it and see how good and enjoyable the game actually rated quite well in people's eyes. And people are still trying to finish the 5% off as well. So it is still an active development game, as well as being able to get played by people that we never should have been able to, really. But stuff like this, I think, is kind of the exception. This isn't a leak of something that's up and coming, and people are managing to download and play it, and then, I don't know, not give the ending away, but, talk about an upcoming game. This is something that's been on the wayside for like 14 years, so I think this is slightly different.
Message in the chat says, low res Bibby. I think that may be at my end. After restarting the PC, Epic Games Launcher and Steam were both open, so I've killed them now. So we might see Bibby actually get more than three pixels on his face before then. Let me jump back through the chat then. Robo Daniel, good morning. I'll read. Max is here as well. Good morning. Good morning. Cakey B is also in the chat. It says old school 1v1 in the toilets with slaps only. We're not talking about that. We're only talking about GoldenEye this morning, mate. Sorry. I think you've come into the wrong stream there. Oh, just it's not even slaps. It was the robotic like yeah.
The best bit about this is that Max wasn't even born when this game came out. So he'll be like, what the hell's GoldenEye? What's all this hype about? He has no idea how good that game was.
Trying to do slaps only, though, when one person's... Was it Jaws? And then one person was Oddjob? It's just like, well, that's a mismatch. Where's he gone? Not bad, just slapped a Meat Feast pizza in for my dinner. Meat Feast pizza
Great
at 11:15?
style.
Oof, that's a good start to the day.
He's a big lad.
It's a good start to the day.
6'2".
Gary says you boys should play this on stream. Two Shaggers playing some classic sort of GoldenEye. All I'm gonna say is right now that if we do play this on stream, there we go. Bibby has pixels back in his face. Yay! Is if I lose, it's purely because I'm connecting to Bibby's PC on Parsec, and it's nothing to do with my ability. That's what it is. Excuse out up front. There we go. Robo Daniel says, what's the topic? I'm late. Thank you for dropping that in the chat, because that reminded me that I hadn't put the discussing now on. So you can see it is there now, and you would imagine reminded you as well. But there we go. GoldenEye 007 Xbox Live Arcade remaster has been leaked. This is an interesting one. As Bibby says, I mean, there's a lot of love for GoldenEye. Historically, a little bit of rose-tinted glasses to it. If you go back and play it now, it's a little bit tedious.
We played it in the office last year. It was shit.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I was trying to be nice. A little bit tedious. It was shit. I mean, yeah. It wasn't what you expected. It definitely is. A little bit of the fact that it was incredible and games were good back there in rose-tinted glasses, but also I think for me, filling in some of the blanks with the film. In my head, I'm thinking... Pierce Brosnan, Sean Bean, 007 is amazing. And in reality, it wasn't the film. It was the game, and obviously it was a game of the time. So there was only so much that it could do. So yeah, That said, having a remastered version of that, I definitely would be up for tinkering with that, having a bit of a play with that. Probably not going to hold me attention for a long period of time, obviously, but something that I would like to play. It is kind of, in that sense, something that is eternally doomed by itself. As Phil Spencer mentioned, there's lots of different parties to work with, so we've always given up. That's in response to the article that we read last week, saying that Eon, who owns the rights to the James Bond franchise, MGM, who's the film studios behind running that, Pierce Brosnan, Famke Janssen, Sean Bean, and every other actor and actress that's in the film all have their own image rights that would be contracted to a certain amount of time. So you need to get all of these people to agree to allow for this to happen. So the chances are this could happen, but it would cost a shitload of money. So because Xbox and Rare don't really want to throw a shitload. I don't know why I said that the first time. I thought I'd have to go back to it for the second time.
You sound like Gingy of Shrek.
I'm a real boy. Yeah, so I've completely lost my train of thought. That thinking about gingerbread man. There we go. Yeah, to get that to happen, it would cost an inordinate amount of money, and it just wouldn't make it back. So you have a news article that comes out last week. Somehow, someone gets hold of the video of the full playthrough for 2 hours, and that comes out last week. And then there's comments saying that it would never happen, that resurface, and then it gets pushed out again. I mean, it is unlikely because of the potential findings. But I love the theory behind, the drama behind, the narrative behind Xbox and Rare and Phil Spencer or whoever it is behind the scenes suddenly going, okay, we can will this into existence by letting people play it. That will prove to Eon and MGN and all these people that there's actually a little bit of cult sort of love for this to make it happen. I don't think that is the case. I think it's probably more likely is whoever's had hold of the game in the first instance was probably already in the process of putting this somewhere for people to download and play. It's just a case of we've had part 1 being the video release, part 2 being the game release. But yeah, let's go with the more beefier narrative of Xbox have tried to do one over of Eon, Barbara Broccoli, and MGM. Barbara Broccoli is the woman that controls the rights to James Bond, by the way, as we found out last week. So there you go. Exactly. Robo Daniel says, tinfoil hat on. This is a marketing stunt / gauging response. Exactly. I love to think that is the case. I highly doubt that it is. I would love to think that would be the case. This is Microsoft going, let's just see. This is not from Microsoft. This is from, what should we need to post it with a different account. How about Psychromoft? There we go. So, they won't know it's us. My name is Spill Fencer. User at Psychro. Oh fuck! No, that's too close. No, I love the idea of it being that. I don't think it is, but yeah, tinfoil hat absolutely on. Yes, please. Let's have one of these. Who's gonna approve Robert Coltrane? Rip. Do you know what? I completely like.
He's not dead. Is he not? I've just had to Google it because I didn't think he died.
I was gonna say I completely did not know. Yeah, no, he's still alive.
Oh my god, my heart just sunk then.
Yes, he's currently 70 years old, so he's not dead. I was going to say I completely did not know. I mean, Hagrid's still alive. Slash cracker.
Should have told you that.
I'm dead, Harry. Fuck.
Jesus. Everyone's bloody made me panic. Steady, lad, it's too early. Everyone's frantically trying to find out if Robbie Coltrane's died.
So Magic Man's those people on Twitter that tells you that Eddie Murphy's died. # rip Eddie Murphy. It's you, Madge. We're on to you. But no, thankfully he's still with us. By the way, Hobby Hall dildo, all the PS5 consoles with that scalper price. Autocorrect. Hobby Hall sold.
They're not even remotely similar. How has that even happened? That's not even close. Like, oh, next one.
Oh, I mean, I will say that dildo isn't actually too far away because the D is next to the S, and then there's an L, and there's a D, and the O and the I are close together, so it kind of makes sense. But you must have been typing the word dildo a lot.
Oh god, nice one, mate.
Amazing.
That's class.
Oh.
Alright, let's get our reds back.
Woosa, I'm warm. I'm overheating. This is so much excitement. Oh, it's all fun and games in the lake house this morning. Hey, cheers for that, Lake. By the way, Hobby Hall sold all the PS5 consoles at that price. By the way, if you missed that, Lake is from Finland. And Hobby Hall is a retailer, quite an established retailer, that was selling PS5s at over 1,100. Was it euros? Is that the currency in Finland? I'm clearly baffled.
It was like 117,000 or something, wasn't it?
I thought it was like 1,117. It's something like that. Euros, yeah, 1,117 euros from a first-hand retailer, not like CEX, and they've sold them all. Fuckers. Appreciate that laugh this morning as well, Lake. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. Barbara Broccoli and Christopher Carrot will be fuming. God damn it. Other vegetables are available. Steady lads, too early, says KK. Which one? For the cracker bit? So far, in the last 5 minutes, Robbie Coltrane has been dead, and Hobby Hall have dildoed PS5s. So what a stream. Just have to wonder what Lake normally writes for autocorrect to suggest that. To be fair, I've had some dodgy stuff in the past, so I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. It's all right, Lake. I got you. And I thought CEX was bad selling them for 815. The thing is, CEX as well is buying in at expensive prices and selling at expensive prices. Not that I'm forgiving them at all, but there's logic there. CEX going, okay, that 400 quid, I'll buy for 700 quid and sell for 800 quid. Makes sense. Mark up to make profit. Jobs are good. But Hobby Hall are getting them brand new, shipped from, you imagine, PlayStation at £300-400 is their cost price, and then selling it for 1,100 euros. Nope. Hobby Hall need to branch out now. Well, there's a new area that they've clearly been investing in. I think the last I checked, they buy at like 550 cash credit. Oh yeah, they're still making an absolute chunk of money there. Yeah, I mean, if they buy at 550 and sell at 815, that is quite a significant leap. But they're still buying over cost. So the logic is a bit weaker, but it still stands. Whereas Hobby Hall are just absolutely twats. Actually, I never use that word, and this phone should be brand new. Makes you think what they did on the factory test. I'd maybe get yourself a disinfectant wipe and just give it a little bit of a scrub over before you use it, just in case. Who's buying them at 815 though? People with more money than sense. If people are buying them at 1,117 euros, then it's definitely possible for people to buy them at £815. And like you say, people with more money than sense, people that have and
Inspiration.
I mean, Jordan has mentioned it himself in the chat a few times before, so I'm sure he won't have any issues with me mentioning it. But Jordan has basically a compulsive disorder. He's mentioned it in the past, so that he spends money on things that he does all the time, usually technological based. So he'll buy new consoles, new phones, new hardware, and stuff like that. More faster than he needs to, and he'll openly admit that himself, that he spends too much too quick. So people like that though are being exploited. So whilst that's something that often gets overlooked, there are people with obsessive compulsive sort of purchasing disorders that just go out and fucking I need to buy that, and these people are being absolutely fleeced. So not only are there some people that are just sitting on a shitload of money and just think, fuck it, whatever, it'll be fine. I don't have to worry about the implications of the rest of the market because I've got my console, don't care. But then there are other people that are just being exploited as well. Shit, is that an actual thing, says Cakey? It is, yeah. I mean, there's it's not something that's widely accepted because, I mean, like most things like ADHD, I suppose, in the 70s and 80s, that kid's just a loudmouth knobhead. It's the same sort of thing, like people will see, oh, well, no, he just wanted to spend his money on a new iPhone. He just wanted it. But it's not too far from gambling addiction in that sort of sense. The need to go out and put the money on gambling. It's the need to go out and purchase. So yeah, that kind of stuff does exist. Wow, eyes well and truly opened. I buy shit I don't need all the time. But yes, anyway, I don't know how we got there from Xbox Live Arcade to gambling addiction to it was the hobby hall. That's what it was. That's how we got there. It's like a chemical thing. It brings you joy when it arrives. Yeah, absolutely. That's what it's all based down to. It's like endorphin release kind of levels and stuff like that. So it's basically all based on an addiction. Looking at you, RTX 3090. See, I'd be happy with a 3080. Just give me a 3080, but they don't exist anymore. It's like unicorn turds. God damn it. Anyway, something that doesn't exist but does exist-ish is the Xbox Live Arcade version of GoldenEye, which was cancelled, but it now has been leaked online. The remaster is out there. We may or may not be looking into some research about playing it. I don't know what the situation is on that, because it's not a thing. Whether we can stream it, because emulation, you can play emulated games on Twitch as long as you own the original. So we've done some old school PES games, but we own the original games. We use the emulator just as a function to put the content out there, which is perfectly fine by Twitch. But how does that work with an Xbox Live Arcade remaster that has never been released? We'd have to look into whether we could actually stream this, because technically we can't own that version of the game. So, I don't know.
Surely we could show our N64 cartridge and go, hello!
And it's like, yeah, but that's a little bit less 4K. Shit, oh no, I don't know.
It does wonderful things nowadays.
I mean, it's the Twitch upgrader, so there you go. Leaked game stream equals DCM takedown, motherfucker. Yeah, I thought so. I mean, it's all right if you're playing it for your own. I mean, I say it's all right. It's still technically illegal if you're playing it for your own fun and games, but if you are streaming it, then you're opening yourself up to the licensing laws. I thought that was the case. So yeah, we won't be streaming it because we like our channel and we don't want it to be dead. So there you go. Anyway, let's move ahead. Let's go from one game to another. And this news broke yesterday. Quite a significant story. We'll ask Bibby. I mean, Bibby will have more of an input on this than I will, but still a good story nonetheless. As Andy Robinson at VGC says, Gearbox says it will continue to work with 2K on Borderlands after its sale. Developer says it's agreed on certain rights for the series, but it owns the IP. Gearbox CEO Randy Pitchford has said the company will continue to work with publisher 2K on the Borderlands franchise following its acquisition by the Embracer Group. Embracer announced the up to $1.4 billion purchase of the Texas-based studio on Wednesday, though it said it would continue to operate as an independent studio focusing on premium interactive gaming experiences. In an investor call following the announcement, Gearbox boss Pitchford clarified, what is it with these companies that are having box and boss next to each other? Just because I can't say it. Xbox boss, Gearbox boss. So Gearbox box.
You done it then?
No, I said Gearbox.
That was right.
No, I said Gearbox box, that one.
Did you?
I did it the first time, but then I ballsed it up on the second time thinking I was just I'd nailed it. But anyway. In an investor call following the announcement, Gearbox boss Pitchford clarified that this would include working with its long-term publishing partner 2K on known and planned Borderlands content. Asked by VGC to clarify the Borderlands IP ownership situation, Pitchford claimed the franchise was a Gearbox IP, but suggested that 2K had certain rights for the series. In a follow-up statement issued to GI.biz, 2K Games said Embracer's acquisition does not change 2K's relationship with Gearbox, nor our role as the publisher for the Borderlands IP. There are things that we are very good at, and there are things that other people are better at than us, Pitchford said. If we're thinking specifically about Borderlands, we love our relationship with Take-Two and the 2K Games label, and we are committed to working together through all of the known and planned Borderlands work that we have going on. He added, I anticipate that this will continue and that we will create new opportunities together. Sometimes there are folks who are just the right group to help maximize the potential for these creative endeavors that we have. We are absolutely open to these relationships. The CEO said the attraction to working with 2K going forward would now be motivated by expertise rather than capital. Of course, there are trade-offs, right? Now, the impetus for such an interaction is less about the capital necessary to develop and publish the product, and more about the expertise and capability of the partners involved. Partnerships are a big part of the Gearbox story, and I do not see that stopping. Asked to clarify the ownership of the Borderlands IP, Pitchford said it was pretty clear that Gearbox owned the franchise, but suggested there was some complexity involving agreements with 2K. We have a relationship with Take-Two where we have agreed on certain rights for exploitation of the IP. The IP is a Gearbox IP. You can read the legal line at the bottom of any Borderlands product, he explained. That relationship, for the things that we've done so far, is meaningful and valuable to us, and it reflects a relationship that we expect and are eager to have going forward. But the ownership of the property is clear in the legal lines of the products. You can just look at the small print and see the copyright or trademark ownership pretty clearly. 2K Games said in its own statement, as the proud publisher of the Borderlands franchise, we are happy for our partners at Gearbox, and this is an exciting new chapter for their organisation, the company said. The merger does not change 2K's relationship with Gearbox, nor our role as a publisher for the Borderlands IP, or any other projects that we're currently working on with the studio. We look forward to continuing our long-term partnership with this incredibly talented team and delivering many more exciting entertainment experiences to gaming fans around the world. And then there's also a movie in development, but we don't need to talk about that, so we will end it there. Gearbox has been purchased by the Embracer Group, a group that is already pretty large in itself. They already own brands like Koch Medias and THQ Nordics and things like that. But Bibby, what are your thoughts on this?
Right, so forgive me if I'm coming across thick with stuff like this, because I am very down the line with stuff. If I don't understand it, I'll tell people, and then I'll just go on a little rant. So again, if someone could try and correct me with this, it seems like everything is staying the same, but the Embracer Group is going to get more money off of it. Is that right? So they're going to make money off of Borderlands, but everything still remains how it was. So they'll just get a cut of whatever Borderlands is going to be making. Is that right?
Kind of. I mean, Embracer Group have never been involved in this situation before. So Gearbox is a development studio. They develop the game. 2K provide all of the lovely stuff that 2K can provide on top of that in terms of, let me just check my discussing now, it's too long, fuck. So they can provide everything that you'd expect from a publisher, from getting the game put into boxes to influencer content to putting it in stores to marketing and all the rest. Gearbox as a developer has now been bought by Embracer, so they've just bought that. So effectively, if they're wording it as said in there, nothing kind of changes. It's just that there's new bosses that sit above the top bosses in Gearbox now in the Embracer Group.
They're just making money off Borderlands.
Yeah, exactly. It's a new level at the top of the pyramid, effectively.
That's what I thought. Because I read this morning, and I thought, right, okay, this is kind of confusing me a little bit, because it feels like it's a lot of words to say something that's very easy to put into words. But obviously this is more press releasey kind of thing, and what's the pros and cons of this. But the way I saw it was, everything stays the same. They've just got new bosses, and they're going to start making money off Borderlands. That's the way that I thought of it.
That's pretty much it. It's interesting to read through the article. I mean, it doesn't change anything really on not on paper. It doesn't change anything really for the user if what's said on paper here. Let me just finish this actually. All comes to fruition. Gearbox /Embracer /2K. Borderlands. I was going to put something else in there, but we didn't have enough space because it's like some of the longest words in the world, and it wouldn't have all fit on screen. So, bosh, that'll fit. So yeah, it doesn't really change anything. It's just who owns the company has changed. The fact that 2K are publishing that, the questions come from the fact that the Embracer Group owns publishers already. So if they own Gearbox, why would they need Take-Two? Why would they need 2K? That's where the question comes from. But 2K and Take-Two, it's not like you're just pulling away from an independent publisher. You're pulling away from an absolute massive publisher, a publisher that has been intrinsically linked throughout the history of the Borderlands franchise. So yes, we are going to continue to work with it because we've got long-term contracts, we've done shitloads forever, and they are an exceptional team. It's kind of, I would probably say it's almost a non-story. It is an interesting story, the fact that Gearbox has been bought out. And if anyone was going to buy Gearbox, I'd have thought Take-Two may have been the ones that purchased them. But then again, I mean, do they need to? All that sort of stuff. So it doesn't surprise me that Embracer are out there buying, because Embracer have been buying up quite a lot of brands in strengthening their foothold in the games industry over the last 5, 6, 7 years or so. So it doesn't surprise me that they bought them. But yeah, it's kind of a non-story because it doesn't really change anything in that sense.
Have you ever played Borderlands?
I haven't. No, I haven't. We've mentioned this before.
I can't remember if you just played a little bit of the first one and it wasn't for you. I haven't played the third one yet. I've played obviously 1, 2, and the pre-sequel. I haven't played the third one yet.
Have you got your Borderlands mask with you? Is it in there?
I have. It's just not on there because I couldn't fit it on something. It was either that or stick it on Sonic's face.
I mean, I feel like we need to have the Borderlands mask on while we're talking about this. Hey.
I could like put it over my headset and hat.
This is worth it just for the watch. Nice. There we go. On brand. Nice. Mr. T is in the chat, who drops in with a smiley face emoji, which is code for "Don't ask me, because I will not tell." Mr. Asim, in a completely unbiased, do not work for Take-Two or 2K at all situation, what are your detailed thoughts? Let us know. Obviously, you can't, but we understand. But yeah, Asim confirming, Embracer purchased Gearbox. Gearbox developed Borderlands. 2K publisher market Borderlands. That's the situation. Yeah, exactly. So it doesn't really change anything in that sense. The worry for some people, I'd probably say the worry for fans more than anything, is that Gearbox pull away from 2K. Because they can do. Relay, just like anyone kind of can do relay. Obviously, that's held back by limitations based on what your contractual obligations are, and there are things that it's agreed on certain rights and stuff. So there's definitely stuff in there that 2K and Take-Two have their clause in, but not in a malicious sort of way. They've planned for the future. They own the rights of things. They've been helping make this brand what it is. By making this brand, they've made Gearbox what it is. So it's been beneficial for Gearbox to have worked with Take-Two and vice versa. So I don't think this will change much at all. I think, if anything, the Embracer Group have bought Gearbox not to take it away and use their publishers to utilise other factions. I think they've bought Gearbox because what they've been doing with 2K has been so successful. Why would you come in and rip up the script?
It's a license to print money, some might say.
Yeah, exactly. FIFA or Fortnite says, Bibby, you had surgery.
Yeah, don't you think a lot better? Best I've ever looked.
I mean, to be fair, Bibby's always looked like this. It's just, the difference is, he's just pushed the peak of his cap up a little bit so you can see a touch more of his face, and it's that change in lighting that you can see what he actually looks like. So that's what it is. FIFA or Fortnite?
Play Borderlands.
Hmm?
We need to play Borderlands. We're on a co-op hype at the moment. And we've obviously still got Scott Pilgrim to play through at some point as well, but playing Borderlands, it's on the Switch, we could easily just be dossing about that in the front room. Or just play it on PC or PlayStation, and we can get that going. It's like a 60-hour game per game, if not more with the DLC. We could definitely get through. So I mean, it probably will take us forever, but it's a cracking game.
Gagad says Bibby's got sound problems now. No, that's just what Bibby sounds like, Gagad. It's always been like that, mate. That's his voice. Nah, it's just a bit muffled. It's not too bad. FIFA or Fortnite says we got a shout out on Manny's stream. Is he streaming now?
Ooh.
Is he doing his Master League stuff now, or is he doing his BAL? How's it going? Let me know.
Oh god, it's hot in that.
I get motion sickness from Borderlands. Gutted as it's so much fun until I want to slide off my chair onto the floor holding my head. Asim saying blasphemy, cracking co-op game. Get on it. Great next gen upgrade. Do you know what I might do?
You know where we are, Asim.
Hey.
We'll do some unpaid promotion for you. How's about that?
It's fine. It's not purely for our enjoyment. It's baby, put it back on, says FIFA on.
No. I thought we were friends.
It's not for our enjoyment at all, Asim. It's purely just to benefit you. That's what it is. So yeah, there we go. Do you know what I will do? I'll play it. It's one of those games, one of those series that I should get in, that I've kind of not got in because I've not played the last one and then not played the one before it. And so yeah, I'll just jump in. Let's go. Okay, messages. Okay, they can go here. So yes, Gearbox has been bought by the Embracer Group, but they will still continue to work on 2K. So don't expect any drastic changes to Borderlands in that sense. If anything, what it does do is gives, in the same way that, like, you look at the benefits of the EA Codemasters takeover. Obviously, there's a lot of potential worries for people in there, which is understandable. But you look at the benefits that EA bring from the article yesterday. The fact that they can utilize their studios, their other development teams, their knowledge sources, their funding and their backing, the fact that they can do all of that stuff and link into that, yes, that does come at the cost that maybe it gets a bit more EA-ish with the money situations and things like that. Yeah, okay, fair enough. But there is some good stuff behind there. And if Gearbox aren't going to change anything, Embracer aren't going to change anything in Gearbox, but give them access to larger distribution chains, better knowledge banks, and so on, then that could be good for everyone. So let's see how it unfolds. Is that Sid Sloss? SLD Slow? I don't know how to pronounce that, but thank you for the follow. Jay the Prophetic, thank you for the follow. And Pompey G 2020, thank you for the follow. Welcome into the stream.
Play up, Poppy. Poppy, play up.
No, babe. No.
I'm going full football mode then. Poppy, play up.
Manny's got a command for us. What? Has it? Okay.
Well, lad.
Do you know, I was going to jump into the stream and check it, but I'll do it. We'll do it not on a Scoop stream. We'll do it on AN other stream. FIFA or Fortnite redeemed posture check. Thank you very much. I will sit upright. Thank you for that. As we jump ahead into the next story, and I believe is this on the track of the story that Madge shared with us?
It is, yeah. When I briefly read through it this morning, it covered both bases. So yeah, we'll say this one was submitted by Madge. It's the exact same concept, just with a bit more information.
Sweet. So if you do want to submit any stories for us to cover on the Scoop, you can do on social media like Madge did a couple of days ago with this story, or you can do in the Discord. We do have a section for submissions for the Scoop. But shout out to MagicMan1977 in the chat for giving us the next talking point. This is written by Alex Calvin at VG247. It says BioWare even says getting multiplayer to work for Mass Effect Legendary Edition would be, quotes, really hard. Easy Tiger, not like that, end quotes. The undertaking would have been too complicated, the studio says. Developer BioWare has said that it hasn't included multiplayer in the upcoming Mass Effect Legendary Edition due to the sheer amount of work it would take to get it right. Let me hit play on the reveal trailer there. Speaking to Game Informer project director Mac Walters said that people would mostly be playing these remasters for the story elements. Getting the multiplayer aspects to work would have been too complicated. And then there's a quote within the article that says, I had all of these analogies early on to try help people understand what this remaster is going to be about, Walters said. Quote, it's one thing to take a 1982 Porsche that needs to be fully restored, but now I want you to imagine that it was actually buried in concrete, so you've got to chip away all of that. And every time you try something, it's like, is this even going to work? Do I blow the engine turnover? You know, it's just a lot of work, and I think people underestimate what it's like to do this game, because at every step you're giving an agonizing choice of, is this the thing we want to spend our time on and really try to improve it, and where will this lead us down the road? He continued, I feel strongly that we've chosen the things that are what the majority of our fans were passionate about. On the topic of multiplayer, it was just really hard. Getting all of the online systems working and functionality would have been another large chunk to do, but at the same time, there are a lot of other logistics involved. The economy is built completely differently. Then questions come up like, do we support it post-launch? What about people who are still playing multiplayer today? Do we try to find a way to somehow to do cross-play between the PS3 and PS4? Mass Effect Legendary Edition is out on May the 14th for PlayStation 4, PC, Xbox One, as well as the PS5 and Xbox Series S and X via backwards compatibility. Babe, what are your thoughts?
I was going to say something then, but I've just read Madge's comment in the chat saying multiplayer Mass Effect 3 shut down quite a while ago. Played hundreds of hours on that, and it was a lot of fun in hard mode. I think the guy's done a bit. I think Mac Walters has done himself a bit of an injustice with this, because I don't think, and this is just me speaking as someone who's played Mass Effect-ish. I haven't completed every single game and all of them. I did enjoy the first two that from what I played, but yeah, when I think of Mass Effect, I do not think of playing multiplayer. I think you play the game because for me it was a single player experience, and it was a phenomenal one at that. So them concentrating on getting that right first is the best thing to be able to do. And I think a lot of fans will appreciate that. I mean, you'd seen all the fanfare that it got when it got announced 2 days ago on Twitter. Like, yeah, everything just blew up. And then I'd even seen, I think it was Gary looking for the Ultimate Collector's Edition, which I think is about 1,300 quid, and you get a mask and shit like that. It's mental. So I think looking at the single player aspect and the storyline of what made Mass Effect great is the best way to be able to do that. If they can tack it on later down the line, if it's like a year later, who cares? As long as they get the core gameplay of Mass Effect and the storyline brought through and be able to play in whatever resolution that you're playing on PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, whatever graphics that you're able to pull out of those on your next gen consoles. Fantastic. Let's concentrate on that first before we get into the multiplayer stuff, because sometimes I think when you've got a fantastic single player game, they try to focus on the multiplayer stuff first, because I think that is the stuff that's going to get people playing all the time, which is right. Once you finish the storyline of a game, you probably move on to the multiplayer stuff. If it's good, it'll keep your attention. The things that people are looking for in a storyline driven game and a single player experience is that a single player experience and the storyline of the game. Forget about the multiplayer stuff until a later time. Get people in, talk about how good Mass Effect is again, and then we can forget about some of the stuff that happened with Andromeda. That's all there is to it, as far as I'm concerned.
Bear with me 1 second. I'm just looking to see what. Just seeing what Gary's tweeted. Gary has just said, I might have just tweeted you something on Twitter, and here it is. When you can't find your disposable mask.
Think about making that my profile picture, to be honest.
Wear a goddamn mask. Yeah. Okay, well, as soon as you're doing that, then let me. I might as well Iron Man it up for the rest of the stream. Yeah, nice. Although downside, you can at least wear your headphones with yours. I can't with mine. Nice. Baby, I can hear you from my neck where my headphones are.
Can you not put the headphones on the mask?
Do you know, I might be able to on this. Okay, let's give that a go. Can't get my mask back on. I can't.
Welcome to the Scoop, ladies and gentlemen. Coming to you live every single weekday at 10 a.m. ish.
I can actually hear you as well. This is amazing. Okay, that's enough of that though.
Is it sweaty?
So yeah, wear a goddamn mask. I need to turn my Iron Man mask off now. There we go. Manny said if you want to check out the people who helped me with the UTR team, type ice cream, exclamation mark ice cream, and give a link to. Oh, what a guy! Didn't even need to do that. See, that's the good thing about people like Manny, because none of that stuff was needed at all. He didn't even need to name check ice cream uploads anywhere in it. He could have just been like, nope, I've made this happen, because that was what I was expecting to be the case. It's his team, his thing. But yeah, GG, Manny. Thank you very much, dude. See that? A guy with massive reach, large channels, trying to help up. I mean, two absolutely exceptionally talented and gifted content creators, but you know, with a criminally small reach. But there you go. Cheers, Manny. Thank you very much, dude. So Madge then, who shared this, says multiplayer for Mass Effect 3 shut down quite a while ago. Played hundreds of hours on it, and a lot of fun from a horde mode. The multiplayer mode was a near throwaway reference in the single player game, but it was still canon. Thankfully, they changed how it worked at launch, where it was more essential to obtain a perfect ending to the game. So how do you feel then, Madge? Obviously, you've shared this article. So I mean, it would be criminal for us not to ask you directly. Mass Effect having multiplayer, they're saying everything that comes with that would be difficult because you've got the legacy of the game. It's long enough back for it to be remastered, but close enough for people to still effectively have access to the game. So should they look at bringing multiplayer? Would you play multiplayer? And if they did, would you be happy with it just being PS4, PS5? Or would you be thinking, well, there's people that have invested, like yourself, hundreds of hours into it on the old school setups, PS3 and so. Would you expect that? I mean, what would your thoughts be on this? I mean, I know I've asked you like about 1,000 questions, and you've got to type that into Twitch chat. So so we'll just sit here and wait for 15 minutes as you type out your essay of a response. Go. But yeah, feel free to drop those comments in. Oh, you have done already. Nice. To be honest, I'd have been shocked had multiplayer been working. Having all the single player game stuff is more important. See, I have played even less Mass Effect than Bibby has, and I was aware multiplayer was there, but I thought it was about the story. So for something like that, for me, I wouldn't necessarily expect the multiplayer. Pirates, thank you for the host. Welcome in. Good morning. I wouldn't necessarily have expected multiplayer. It's definitely not to be the main focus. But the thing with that, when a game is so Bibby's just exploded. What we're looking at is these the notifications on Twitter?
Yeah.
just seen it. So let me jump back up a second. So there you go. This is what we had a second ago. When you can't find your disposable mask, that's Bibby. And then following up from that, when Poundland launched their range of Steelman merch. Yeah.
Oh god, that is unreal.
Do you know what? I'm absolutely not bitter about that at all, and I'm absolutely not typing Garlic Clark in the chat. Oh, there it is! GG, Gary. GG, fucker. Do you know what? I'm going to wear that more often now, and I'm going to sort out my fringe. I'm glad Garlic Clark is carrying on the meme theme. It's been on form these last 24 hours. What was it? What was it yesterday? Appreciate it.
Was it Jordan yesterday? I can't remember.
I can't remember as well. I don't remember. Classic Garlic Clark, says Mr. T. Oh, Jordan made the meme yesterday. Okay, well, do you know what? There you go. I mean, Gary's just done that well today that I've just given him your credits, so 'tis what it is. But anyway, yeah, back in to the news. Masks aside, feel free to wear a mask if you go outside, whether it's an Iron Man, Steel Man helmet, or whether it's... I mean, what is that character? I didn't know what that character's called from Borderlands. What's it called? The mask that you've got.
I think is it Mayhem? Borderlands. Mayhem.
Let's test Mr. T. Mr. T, what's that character called? I did get told like at every games event because they were at E3 and they were at Gamescom and they were everywhere. But anyway, feel free to wear a mask. If we can wear our masks, you can wear yours. There you go. But if you, Dave, there we go. It's called Dave. That's the one. That's what we need. Psycho says Asim.
Psycho.
So if you can wear a Psycho mask and I can wear an Iron Man helmet, then you guys can wear a mask. Nice. Didn't mean to get all political, but that's just the way it is. BioWare says though that getting multiplayer into Mass Effect would be really hard. So don't expect, if you are looking for the Mass Effect Legendary Edition, don't expect any form of multiplayer support coming forward. The cat! Whilst Bibby is sorting out the cat, letting the cat out of the bag, literally, I will jump into the next bit of news, though, as the final story of the day is written by Game Central at Metro, and it says, Nintendo has practically eradicated PlayStation in Japan, says an analyst. A staggering 99% of video game sales in Japan in 2021 have been for the Switch, as Sony announces 4.5 million PS5s have been sold worldwide. There are some real mixed messages going on at the moment in terms of the PS5 in Japan. On the one hand, analysts have painted a picture of doom and gloom, claiming Sony is abandoning its home turf, while on the other, riots have been breaking out amongst fans trying to get hold of the console. The riot definitely happened. The shop involved has now randomised when console go on sale and will only sell it to people using their credit card plan to avoid selling to scalpers. GG! I mean, it is forcing credit, but even still, they're trying at least. But there is also plenty of evidence that Sony is dropping the ball when it comes to Japan. According to analyst Hideki Yasuda of Ace Research Institute, 99% of all video game software sales in 2021 in Japan have been for the Nintendo Switch, despite the fact that Nintendo has not released any new games so far. Nintendo has practically eradicated PlayStation, suggests Yasuda. It is unfortunate, but as I have pointed out, the decline of the PlayStation brand in Japan has become a well-known fact.
We just become best friends.
Garlic Clark, thank you very much for the follow. Whoever did that, amazing. I'd off my cap to you. Amazing. Welcome to the stream, Garlic Clark. It's an unusual name that's very, very distinct. Thank you for joining us here at twitch.tv/angrybubbers. Nice. Anyway, back into the article. Nintendo has practically eradicated PlayStation, suggests Yasuda. It's unfortunate, but as I pointed out before, the decline of the PlayStation brand in Japan has become a well-known fact. These are strong words, but it's certainly true that the PS5 console sales in Japan have been considerably less than the PS4 at the same point in its life, although the stock problems make direct comparisons difficult. So far in 2021, the Switch has sold 650,408 consoles compared to just 29,124 for the PS4, with the highest ranked non-Switch game in the current weekly software charts being Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War at number 25. Wow, you're having to go down to 25 before you get a non-Switch game. That's crazy. In fact, so far this year, there hasn't been a single non-Switch game in the entire top 20. Yasuda pins the blame solely on Sony, accusing them of not taking Japan seriously and suggesting the situation is not because Nintendo has done anything particularly unusual, but that Sony has dropped the ball. Nintendo has actually had a very quiet 12 months, should I say, in terms of new releases, with the company struggling more than most to adjust to new working practices imposed by the pandemic. So in theory, this would have been the perfect time for Sony to take advantage of that. Although Sony has denied any change in focus, many have criticised them for things like changing the default control layout for their controllers in Japan and failing to properly translate game announcement videos, which has annoyed Japanese gamers. More practically, there seems to be a lack of Japanese-made games in development at Sony at the moment, with much talk of Japan's studio being downsized and Gran Turismo 7 and Astro's Playroom being the only Japanese first-party PlayStation 5 titles to be announced so far. And then we get into the fact that PlayStation still sold a shitload, so we can leave that there because we've covered that already this week. But Nintendo has practically eradicated PlayStation in Japan. I will actually rewrap that just for a second from the looks of it. Nintendo has practically eradicated everything in Japan. What are your thoughts on that, Bib?
Two things. I think, in fact, it's more than two things. We'll say four things. The first of all, them changing the way that the buttons lay out must have pissed a lot of people off, because it clearly shows that I'll say it would have pissed people over in Japan off, but they're kind of moving it more westernized. Like, they're trying to make it universal across absolutely everything. The fact that the PS Vita is obviously thriving over there still because it's just a JRPG machine now. Nintendo have probably taken that initiative and ran with JRPG games on their Nintendo Switch over in Japan. So it just gives them more things to be able to play. It's the perfect system. Like, the handhelds over in Japan have always been strong anyway, but now you've got a handheld that you can plug into your TV and play it on the big TV as well. It's phenomenal. Like, it's genuinely genius. Like, I'm surprised that the PS Vita wasn't able to get it. I think, could you do that on the PS Vita? I think you could have a cradle. I don't know whether or not it put onto. I know you could with the normal PSP, but the Vita I wasn't sure. But yeah, like, having stuff like that is fantastic. I also think that is probably to do with the next gen not being able to get bought anywhere, because we're having a similar situation over here. If they're only giving it to people on, like, say, credit, then it eradicates scalpers, but it also eradicates a lot of other people as well. Like, I would never be able to get one because I haven't got a credit card. So it's odd. and there's a lot of moving parts with this. But it's a very nice headline to say that they've sold 99% more Nintendo Switches than a PlayStation. That's a nice, as Mr. Bamble would say, a fuck me fact.
A fuck me fact. AB True 1809. Thank you for the follow 2 minutes ago. Much appreciated. Welcome to the stream. Nintendo has practically eradicated PlayStation in Japan, says an analyst. Is a huge sentence. Like Bibi says, 99% of sales going Nintendo's way. That's incredible. But if PlayStation are then the ones in the conversation with that, and they've got less than 1%, surely Xbox has got less than 1%. I mean, they must be third, right? The interesting thing though is, like Bibi says, so many moving parts here that Nintendo has had a boom. Japan. And all Asian markets in general have had a huge surge towards portable and mobile gaming. I say huge surge towards portable and mobile gaming has always been big in Asia compared to the rest of the world, but particularly over the last few years, mobile has absolutely skyrocketed. Switch isn't mobile, but portable is not too far from that, so you can kind of see natural similarities there. So Nintendo has been doing things right, has been pushing its own brand in the right ways. As that article says, though, it's not necessarily Nintendo's fault. Nintendo has practically eradicated PlayStation. No, PlayStation has practically eradicated itself, if you read this article properly, but that doesn't make for a better tagline. That's not causal. PlayStation has tried to westernize its brand. It's always been a Japanese brand selling games in a Western market. They've tried to open themselves up to the Western market by having more of a US-centric / EU-centric feel to it. Which I wouldn't necessarily say is a bad step for PlayStation. They have probably been too much bull in a china shop with that, though. As Bibi mentioned, and as the article mentioned, we covered it last year, I think, where the PlayStation's default button for us is the X, and in Japan is the circle. And in reality, we are the ones that are wrong, because X means no, so that should be cancel. Circle means go, so... Yeah, effectively, we're the ones that are wrong. All of the logic behind the reasoning for that was developed by Japan. We're the ones in the wrong. But yet, they have been changed to match up with us. Bull in a china shop. You must do this. Everyone's the same. Rather than having it something that you can just custom map the buttons and change them around on the system. They forced everyone into the same situation. I understand the forcing of it because everyone playing off, reading off the same hymn sheet, playing on the same field is easier. And it unifies everything. But I'm happy with that decision because my buttons aren't being changed. So if they were changing it the other way, I would be shitting a brick. I still, every time I turn my PlayStation off, despite playing PS5 for 3-4 months, whatever it is now, hold my PS button, get the wrong menu up, so then I have to tap the PS button to get the menu to put it into rest mode because the PS4 taught me that. One generation taught me that. Japan has every generation of PlayStation consoles history, and they have to unlearn that behaviour. So naturally, that will piss people off. Throw in a pandemic and limited supply, and then all of a sudden, it looks like a bit of a shit show. I would take it with a pinch. This is a very, very short-term microcosm that they're trying to say explains everything else. This isn't a microcosm. This doesn't explain the larger picture for PlayStation. This is a very short snippet of time with some very extreme movements within it. Some questionable decisions and some questionable market happenings that you don't have full control of. Fast forward 9 months when the PS5 is out there everywhere, I don't think you will see that sort of disparity. Whereas the Switch has sold 650,000 consoles in the same time frame that the PS4 sold 29,000. That's the PS4. That's last gen. Compare that to PS5, which has sold 4.5 million consoles in the last few months worldwide. Then, yeah, stats can be made to tell a story. And whilst this is a spicy story, I wouldn't necessarily say that PlayStation is dead. I wouldn't be happy enough to say that. It's not all.
No. Give it another 2 years, and I'm 95% sure the numbers will start to stabilize in favor of the other consoles as well. But I'd like to still see the sales figures for Nintendo for Nintendo Vita for the PlayStation Vita, because I'm fairly certain and confident to say that it's still selling quite well over there.
Well, the Vita, definitely more than anywhere else, for sure. I mean, there's a reason why a lot of people, I think even Jordan, I don't know if he's still here, he was here recently, but he said he uses it as his JRPG machine, because that's pretty much all they're kind of being used for now. And there's a reason why, but the J stands for Japan. There you go. Mr. Robo Daniel says, the changing of the functionality isn't just about preference, it's about the colour and shape. In Asia, a circle is generally used as a check confirmation, and red is generally associated with yes. Yeah, exactly. Source, me who used to be very confused by red circle emoji being used on my Slack messages. Also, must remember that it's apparently a cross and not an X according to Sony. Exactly, as well. That's something we mentioned last year. It still blows my mind because it's triangle, circle, X, square, but it is cross. Because if that is an X, which is part of the logic, is if that is an X, then that is an O. X and O. You can't get X and circle. An X isn't a shape. An X is a letter. Still, it's an X to me, even though I know logically triangle, square, circle, cross. If you're looking at shapes, it's an X. It's like people calling my phone number starts with, as all mobile phone numbers in the UK, starts with 07. But for me, that's 07, and O is a letter, not a number. So yeah, it's the simple nature of human beings. There you go. I have a nightmare switching between all other consoles and the Switch. Gary says, yep, I'm the same. Still fumble about with the buttons now. I can't even imagine how much of a learning it must be for people in Japan. It must be brutal. Graham, did you ever notice that we use circle to confirm and PS4 PUBG for a few of the menus because of that cultural difference? I don't know. I mean, I'd probably say it's probably something I've not noticed, but I may have noticed. Then again, the menus in PUBG have changed a few times, so I've probably not noticed it either. Anyway, yeah. So there you go. Yeah, Vita is still popular in Japan. Yeah, I mean, so it doesn't. If the Vita is still popular in Japan and died everywhere across the world, I don't even know where my Vita is. It's in a drawer somewhere in this room. Possibly. I don't know which one, because I don't really care. There's no reason for it. For me, I don't play JRPGs, so there's no point. That said, I speak for me, not Japan. I don't play JRPGs. Japanese people are a lot more likely, stereotypically, although based on stats, are a lot more likely to play JRPGs than I am. So there is much more need for a Vita, which means there is much more need for a Switch, because they can fill the same need, the same sort of console. So yeah, it's a nice article, particularly if you're a fanboy and you want to ignite the fanboy war. I mean, this guy isn't a fanboy. Hideki Yasuda is of the Ace Research Institute. So they are providing industry analysis, which is useful. That said, I will also throw in the fact that Ace Research Institute isn't the only industry analysis institute out there. There is a lot of them, and they are all competing for column inches. So that is the industry analysis equivalent of clickbait. That's the simplest way I can put it, is if you tell people that the PlayStation 5 is dead, people are going to click on it and read it and see why. It's based on certain stats read in a certain way. It appears like the PlayStation 5 is dead, but in reality it's not. This is the gist of the article.
It's literally only just getting started.
Yeah, exactly. That thing that has just been born, it's not fully fledged. Well, never. What's the chances? It's crazy to think that they only stopped making Dreamcast games in Japan around 6 years ago. Baffling. Absolutely baffling. Yeah, that's it. Nice. Bye. No, I'm joking. We are done now, though. That was the last story of the day. Thank you, everyone, for being with us throughout the day. Everyone for the follows, especially. Let me just hit replay on this. Thank you very much for the follow, Mr. Garlic Clark. Welcome to Ice Cream Uploads. Appreciate that. Whoever did that, I want to know, but I also don't want to know ever, because I appreciate the creativity behind it. Thank you very much for creating a Garlic Clark.
MC fixed his ear.
There he is. Welcome in. So for those of you that may have missed it and don't know what that reference is, I mean, I did set up a command for it in the chat, which I'm going to share again. Oh, it's already there. Iceman's already dropped it. And there you go. You can see the auto follow-up that follows as well. Go and check out MC Fix's channel, by the way. we raided MC Fixer the other day when he was playing Destruction All Stars, and naturally he was busy on stream as you usually are. He was playing Destruction All Stars, new game, trying to monitor chat, trying to keep his eyes on followers, trying to play the game. And Gary Clark followed, and he read it as Gary Clark. So that's a mistake that can come and go. But because we know Gary and we're good friends with Gary, we thought we would turn him into a meme. So cheers for being. Cheers for being an unwitting participant in that MC Fixer. Much appreciated. Cheers, dude. Genuinely, you made our week with that. And someone has made a Garlic Clark account. So cheers. Yeah, nice. I was busy. I'm done. I'm out. Thank you, MC Fixer, though. We are going to disappear, though, now. That is the end of the stream. To give you a quick summary of what we have spoken about. The cancelled GoldenEye 007 Xbox Live Arcade game is out there. If you want to download it, you will be able to find it and play it yourself, should you want to do that. Just don't stream it because, DMCAs and stuff. Gearbox says it will continue to work with 2K on Borderlands despite being bought out by the Embracer Group. BioWare says that the Mass Effect Legendary Edition will not have multiplayer because that would be really hard. And Nintendo has practically eradicated PlayStation in Japan, at least for now. I mean, there's still a long, long road there. And that's it. That's the news. We are going to disappear. There's a chance we might be back with additional content following this show. The best way you can do that is hit and follow on the channel, and you'll get notified when we go live again. Like we did yesterday for our 5-game win streak on PES. Like we did a couple of weeks ago, playing some Streets of Rage. We'll play a little bit of everything. And if you want to get notified when we do go live, following us is the easiest way to do that. But before we do go off, and before we do think about playing any of the games, Mr. Bibb, is there anything that you would like to add?
Yes, again, thank you very much to each and every one of you that has joined us today. If you want to be involved with the show, there is 2 ways that you can do that. First of all, as Graham has already said, find us on social media at Ice Cream Rules across all major social media platforms. Secondly, get into our Discord. There's an area in there that says The Scoop. All we need from you is the URL plus your thoughts and impressions. We will then give you our thoughts and impressions on the very next show, which will be at what time tomorrow, Mr. Graham Day?
That time will be 10 a.m.
Ish.
10 a.m. ish. 10 a.m. ish. So obviously we do this alongside our real jobs. So we do go live whenever we can. Sometimes it's close to 10. Sometimes it's not close to 10. So it's 10 a.m. ish. That's what time we go live. And there's a reason for us having this very exclusive emote in the chat 3 times ish. Once. Twice. 3 times the issue. I don't know. It just came to me and I went with it. Embrace, or it's weird. It's fine. Just embrace it. It's okay. Nice. That's it. We will be back potentially with more games shortly. If not, we will drop a host or a raid on someone else so you can enjoy some of their content. Until then, though, have yourselves a fantastic Thursday and stay frosty.